They beat the nigga so bad, he told us who did it. He told, it got back to the city that the guys that did it, it was like, yo, Big L did that.
Every time I went to Harlem to see Big L that he was gonna fight, he thought he would fight in your size, like the biggest in the world. He's like this. I'm like, oh my God.
You roll bikes, we roll fives. There's no comparison, son. Just embarrassing. I'm running with some of the bad men.
Big L wasn't just known for his razor-sharp bars and insane storytelling. He was the one making noise in the underground before most even had a mic. But what people don't talk about enough is the double life he lived. Half rap star, half Harlem street soldier. And trust, the streets knew not to play with him. He wasn't afraid to throw hands, no matter who it was. Yeah, Big L was blowing up in the rap game, but the streets, he never really left. Born and raised in Harlem, L rolled deep with a street crew called NFL, headed by his older brother Big Lee. That meant Big L was locked into a whole other side of life. Things got real messy a few times, especially when it came to his rocky history with Mase. Now fast forward to 2024, Mase finally aired it all out during an episode of It Is What It Is. The tension between him and L, it went way back. Both of them were Harlem-born and came up together in a group called Children of the Corn, which also included Cameron, Bloodshed, and Herb McGruff. They were tight in the early 90s, around 1993, but L had already made a name for himself before that, tearing up the underground with raw freestyles and wild punchlines on mixtapes. Then boom, 1995, Big L drops his debut album Lifestyles of Da Poor and Dangerous. He earned big respect in the streets and in the industry, but things flipped the year after. In 1996, Mase signed with Bad Boy Records, and overnight became a household name. That's when the vibe between him and Big L turned cold, fast. According to Mase, this was when I first got on. Before we got on, L was the guy. He took us everywhere to rap, to Babito, all over. Then when I got on, it all changed. Like, this is what it looks like when someone really makes it. He went on to say that Big L started jacking parts of his style. He started using a few of my lyrics, like different compounds that I was using. He explained, that's when you make two words rhyme at the same time. Mase said he checked L about it, but L wasn't having none of it. That convo went south quick. The tension between them didn't fade, it got worse. According to Mase, Big L pulled a bold move. He brought in backup, and not just anyone, Fat Joe. Now remember, Fat Joe and Big L were cool through their DITC connection. Mase said, I told L I'll knock you out. You know I know you. Next thing I know, I'm in the tunnel. Fat Joe comes up to me. Turns out Big L had gone and called in Bronx hitters because he couldn't find anyone else in Harlem willing to check Mase. Joe showed up thinking it was some random beef, but when he saw it was between Mase and L, he was caught off guard. Joe later said that whole setup had him feeling like he was being used. L said he had drama and needed help, but when I pulled up, it was Mase. Joe wasn't expecting that, and that moment changed everything. That wasn't even the wildest part. There was another incident, way more serious. Mase said one day he was chilling in Harlem with his old friend God Shamgod, who went on to coach in the NBA, when a robbery went down. Out of nowhere, some guy pulls up on them yelling, "Give it up or I'm killing both of y'all." Mase tried to buy time, he slid his watch off and tossed it near a tire, then dipped out with Sham. Cops were close by and ended up catching the stick-up kid. They even got the watch back. But what came after blew Mase's mind. Later, folks locked up with that same robber started calling Mase. They told him something crazy. During a beatdown behind bars, the guy supposedly confessed that Big L set it all up. That's right. Allegedly, L orchestrated the whole thing. Even Fat Joe later backed up pieces of this story. He said L approached him one night at the tunnel, claiming he had drama and needed muscle. Joe, loyal to L, pulled up with his crew, ready to handle whatever. But when he found out it was Mase, he was stunned. Joe said L started getting aggressive and was looking at him like, "You jumping in or what?" Joe didn't move. And from that moment on, he said he knew Mase never looked at him the same again. That night messed up any trust between them. Joe admitted it was a messed up situation, one he had no idea he was walking into. And as if that wasn't enough, there were always whispers about tension between Big L and the notorious B.I.G. It never blew up into a full-on beef. But let's just say, the energy between them had the streets buzzing with suspicion. Before Biggie ever held the bad boy crown, guess who Diddy had his eye on first? Yup, Big L. Back in the early 90s, when Diddy was still over at Uptown Records, he was seriously looking at signing L. But by 92, Big L had already inked a deal with Columbia, and that bad boy link-up never happened. Wild, right? Just imagine how different things could have been. Not long after that, Diddy met Biggie. And when he launched Bad Boy, Biggie became the face of the whole movement. While Biggie went full throttle into commercial superstardom, Big L stayed grounded in the underground, raw, lyrical, and ruthless. Both were monsters on the mic, with ties to Jay-Z. Jay famously traded bars with Biggie on Brooklyn's Finest, but real heads know that freestyle session from '95 with Big L and Jay-Z on Stretch and Bobbito's show. Woo! Folks still debate it. But a lot say Big L came out on top. Even though they were on different paths, their worlds did collide. L opened for Biggie on a few tour stops, proving there was some kind of working relationship. But things got sticky when L dropped Lifestyles of Poor and Dangerous in '95. That joint MVP sampled DeBarge's Stay With Me. And then, boom, Biggie releases One More Chance with the same sample not long after. Coincidence? Some fans think not. L never spoke on it, but behind the scenes, tension was brewing. Not directly between L and Biggie, but between their people, and it got real fast. Big L's older brother, Big Lee, had a street connect named Reg, deep in Harlem's underworld and plugged in with heavy names like Black Just from the Supreme Team. Word is, Reg ran into someone from Junior Mafia at a Chinese takeout spot and pressed him hard. Dude froze, and Reg robbed him clean for his chain. Here's where it gets crazier. The chain? It was rumored to be one Biggie himself wore during his Martin cameo. After that, Junior Mafia was hot. They wanted that chain back. But Reg wasn't folding. Word on the block? Reg told him flat out, come get it back in blood. Now, the Tunnel, the legendary NYC nightclub, was the place to be on Sunday nights. Big L pulled up regularly, and sources say he'd borrow chains from Reg to keep the image tight. There's serious talk that the chain L rocked on some of those nights might have been that same one from Junior Mafia. But let's be real, on no street beef, no rumors, no drama can erase what made Big L legendary. What stuck with fans the most was his pure talent. Every bar he dropped was fire, clever, fearless, and so ahead of its time. Big L, born Lamont Coleman on May 30th, 1974, grew up in Harlem as the youngest of three. After his pops dipped out early, his mom held it down, raising L and his two older brothers in a tight two-room apartment on 139th and Lenox. That same block became part of rap history. As a kid, they called him Little L. But even young, he had that spark. Everything changed when his older brother Donald took him to see Run DMC at the Beacon Theater. L was just 7, but that night lit a fire in him. After that, he was hooked. By 12, he was locked into hip-hop. Not as a fan, as a student. Hours spent listening, writing, freestyling on the block. It wasn't just fun, it was mission mode. At 16, he was writing seriously. That same year, he linked with 2 friends to form his first rap group, 3 the Hard Way. Didn't last long, but L stayed hungry. He regrouped with a new crew, 2 Hard Mother S, but again, that didn't hold either. Still, these early moves taught him the grind. Then came the real break. In summer 1990, Big L met Lord Finesse at an autograph signing on 125th. L did what only the bold do. He freestyled on the spot. Finesse was so impressed he gave L his number. That moment opened serious doors. L was still in school, Julia Richmond High, juggling classes and the come-up. But he wasn't waiting on anyone. He sharpened his skills in hallway battles, street corners, block parties, anywhere he could grab a mic. In his final interview, L said, "All I ever saw me doing was battling on street corners, rhyming in hallways, beating on the wall." By '92, he was recording real demos. That year, he appeared on Yo MTV Raps with Finesse to promote Return of the Funky Man. He also bodied the remix of Yes You May and made his album debut on Runaway Slave by Showbiz and AG. Then came that battle hosted by Nubian Productions. Nearly 2,000 rappers pulled up, and L walked out the winner. Harlem already knew he was a beast, but now the whole city felt it. Columbia Records signed him in '93, and he dropped Devil's Son, a dark, horror-inspired banger that showed just how versatile he was. In that same wave, L formed the Harlem-based group Children of the Corn, linking with Cam'ron, Kill Cam, Mai, Murda Mai, Bloodshed, and McGruff. They had momentum, but after Bloodshed died in a car crash in '97, things slowed down. In 1994, he dropped I Shoulda Used a Rubber, dark humor with a message. Then came Lifestyles of Poor and Dangerous in '95, debuting at number 149 on the Billboard 200 and climbing to number 22 on the R&B hip-hop chart. It had Put It On, MVP, and a young rapper spitting like he had nothing to lose. But industry politics hit hard. Creative control clashes led Columbia to drop him in '96. L felt out of place, like the label just didn't get him. But quitting? Nah. That wasn't in his blood. In 1997, L started recording his second album, The Big Picture. He joined DITC, appeared in On the Go magazine, collabed with OC on Dangerous, and even toured Europe. In '98, he launched Flamboyant Entertainment, his own label, no gimmicks, just straight hip-hop. That's when he dropped Ebonics, a track breaking down street slang in the slickest way possible. The Source called it one of the top 5 indie singles that year. That same year, Damon Dash from Rockefeller came knocking. He wanted Big L on the roster. L agreed, but only if his crew came too. The Wolfpack was being formed: L, McGruff, C-Town, and Jay-Z. It looked like Big L was finally about to explode into the mainstream. But then, everything stopped. February 15th, 1999. Big L was gunned down in Harlem. Just like that, hip-hop lost one of its brightest minds before he even reached his full potential. And just like that, the world never got to see what Big L could have been. A lyrical genius, a Harlem icon, taken too soon. But real ones know. Legends never die. Rest in peace, Big L, the voice that still echoes through the streets.